At the Holbeach Parish Council meeting of January 2021, it was reported that the cemetery chapels needed a new roof. Surprisingly, money had been put in the precept for this use. At the March meeting, it was reported it was difficult to get quotes as this was specialist work, and only one quote had been obtained at over £36,000. In 2010 a group was formed with the aim of obtaining funding to renovate the chapels. In 2011 the group was to write to Holbeach Parish Council, inferring that it was going to relieve the Parish Council of its obligations to repair the chapels, and could they have the monies in reserves put aside for such maintenance. In 2012 £8,500 was transferred from the Parish Council to the group. The chapels had received Grade 2 listed building status in 1987. Subsequently, it was noted that 4 windows had been bricked up and 2 doorways had also been closed. To carry out works on a listed building without listed building consent is a criminal offence. Under Freedom of Information, South Holland District Council was contacted and confirmed that no listed building consent had been issued for the works, but was unsure when the works had took place. A complaint was raised with Kate Bellamy, Senior Planning Enforcement Officer at South Holland District Council. Her response was, it was understood from the Conservation Officer, Gregory Watkinson, that Holbeach Parish Council had documentary evidence from English Heritage that the works was done prior to listing. A Freedom of Information request to Holbeach Parish Council was to reveal that the documentation held was not from English Heritage but from a private individual, and as such, under data protection, could not be released. Now let's have a look at the 1987 English Heritage listing of the chapels in more detail. North side with central projecting rectangular bay. Single pointed windows flank this bay, each with 2 pointed cusp lights, hood mould and head label stops. But now there's only bricks, no windows. If the windows were not in position at the time of listing, how could they be described? Return walls of projecting bay, each with small trefoil headed lights with hood moulds and head label stops. Projecting bay with pointed plank doorway with hood moulds. One can assume that where the blocks are, there used to be a similar doorway. If the doors were not in situ when the listing took place, how could they be described? This infers that the blocking up took place after the listing. East end with pointed window, 3 cusps, ogee headlights, flowing tracery, hood mould and head label stops. South side has pointing doorway set underneath tower arch with double plank doors and hood mould. Now let's look at the 1987 listing for the South Chapel. South Chapel is identical to the North Chapel, with the doorway in the north side, underneath the tower arch, and the projecting rectangular bay to the south, with the doorway blocked. This infers that the doorway was bricked in prior to 1987, but the 2 side windows were still in place. If the brickwork is compared, the doorway looks like it's been done by a professional, and the cement is aged. The cement in the windows appears to be a lot newer and darker, and the brickwork looks more like Bodgett and Scarpa than a professional. It is my opinion that the 4 windows were removed after the 1987 listing, along with the door in the North Chapel, and that certain persons are engaged in a cover-up.